working on the Evo, but it's fun stuff. Watch. Okay, I didn't show any of this. All I did was just a lift up on the back seat, and it just kind of folds out like that. I set it over there, and then pulled this trim piece up. Just a tab here, tab there. I just kind of set them off to the side over there and just pulled this piece up, and I removed the plastic pieces there. I'm gonna pull this driver's seat out. So it's a 14mm bolts there, and on the front under these plastic covers right here. We're gonna clean all this up, but let me show you what we're doing. Okay, so we have the Innovative Motorsports package right here. We are going to be installing the flex fuel gauge kit for everything. That way we can get started with data logging, tuning, and just all kinds of fun stuff. So we're going to be installing this. It's, you know, read the instructions, looked at the video they provide online, which again is Devin Nemela. If you don't know him, you probably shouldn't even own an Evo at this point, unfortunately. I'm kidding. But regardless, he had a video on it. I saw it. He did it was a good video. It was not very long because of how simple it is. It's plug and play. So I'm gonna kind of walk you through it very briefly like he did, and let's do it. But we're gonna remove the front seat first. So then we'll do that. Okay, so before you go snatching your driver's seat out, keep in mind that it is plugged up, and don't be that guy. So you just got these 3 plugs, and then you can just pull your seat out. Let's see. That was harder than it was supposed to be. Okay, now that we have the seat out, we're gonna start hooking up back there, and we're gonna run the wire somehow across to that gauge pod right there. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but I have to take that apart now next. So, okay, so pull this carefully. Pull that up like that. Gotta unplug it there. Set that there. And you got these 2 screws here. We don't need, that's just resting in there, but I got this. Gauge pod's gonna run in there and run back in there somewhere. I will fill y'all in on how I run it. Just here's a little time lapse, hopefully, and I can get it all figured out. So one thing I haven't seen people do is drill into their car, like for the flex fuel kit tune. But also I'm running mine a little differently. So I have this turned around. My gauge is gonna go right here. I have this flipped around like that. I got a drill hole in here. That way I can run this wire through here. So the hole doesn't have to be very big, but I still have to drill it. And I'm fine with that because it's an ashtray. I don't smoke, let alone would I even smoke in my car if I did smoke. So, also side note, when I was taking the driver's seat out, caused a little damage. Unfortunately, big rip. Did not even realize it until after the fact. I'm very pissed. Hey girl. Oh, fat boy. Nope, no, I'm not calling you. Don't get hair in my car. Okay, so cleaning out the glove box, that way we can try to shift this whole center console up. That way I'm not trying to gouge any more of this, because I do have to kind of lift this up because this is where the wire is going to be going. But cleaning out the center console, I come across a few stickers. Now I do have a lot more of these. This is actually my logo, the my brand. It's actually Fierce is just the name. It's like a Fierce Media, Fierce Designs, Fierce Clothing. It's, you know, I'm trying to start something, but as you already know, I do have my own clothing. It's a few shirts and I have a bunch more designs. But if y'all want some of these stickers, I don't know, I'll mail them off to you for free. Just let me know. So in the center console, those two bolts there, they had these two caps on them. Just pull the caps up and then undo those two bolts. Got these out. This moves freely. Now you got a screw there and there. Okay, so taking a little longer than I expected. Got the gauge and the gauge pod with the bracket on the inside. Yes, it's difficult. Now there's one complaint I have. If you look at this, the way it is, it's crooked. It sits in there like cattywampus a little bit. I wanted to turn it just a little bit, kind of like that. Not all the way, but just a little bit more. That way it's more, I don't know, pleasing to the eye while I'm in here driving. But you can't because the bracket, and I'm not sure how to modify that. I can't really kind of make clearance on the inside of it because I don't know how thin it is. So we're just gonna rock with it like this for now. That's a little better view of it. That's why you can't turn it, because it hits the sidewall. But otherwise, everything else looks good. It'll be sitting down there kind of like that. So I mean, it's not too bad. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna run the brown and the black piece are obviously gonna go connect in here. We're gonna run it through up here into here. Then we're gonna come along, we're gonna zip tie it all around here. We're gonna run it through here all the way down in there to that fuse box panel cover, and that's where we're gonna come out. Okay. I'm all hot and sweaty. It's the next day. I had some stuff come up, but anyways, we got working back on the Evo again. Let me show you. So I did run the wires. I'll show you kind of briefly how I did that. Plugged in the in and out, or I plugged in on the outside, on the going outside with the little programming cable. I'll show you that. Okay, so here we have the gauge. It's in there, put all back together. I got them going back in here. I've already screwed this down. I have them coming in right here. Now I'm gonna reroute this one coming behind here like I did with this one. Now this is your programming cable. I don't know anything about electrical. I have several friends of mine that know way more about electrical stuff than I do as far as wiring and everything of that sort. Also, while I was at it, we have our suede shift boot, matching it with our suede e-brake boot. Nice little extra addition. Really simple install. I already had this off. I just kind of slid it over this. There's no need to really remove this, even though I tried and it just would not budge. But simple. Looks good. I don't think, no, it's not as dark. It's not as dark as this, which aggravates me, but I did get them from separate places. Oh, one more thing I'd like to add. What I did is I used this wire, this gray wire. I used that and shoved it down in here, and I fished it out, pulled it in here because it was easier to push down than it is to pull up. So I used that gray wire to fish it down in there. I hooked it and I slowly eased it up, and I was able to pull it out here, which is why I'm going to be relocating it behind this bracket out of the way. And then I can hook all this stuff back up, which this is just 2 Phillips head screws, and that was it. Just pull it off. So everything's run. I have the excess pulled right here. I'm just going to zip tie this up and out of the way. Until that time, I'm gonna be cleaning everything up. I already vacuumed back here. It's pretty good. I'm gonna close that up. So this right here, I'm just gonna set these right here out of the way whenever I go to do that. That way they're tucked away nice and neat. They're not in the way of getting pinched, squished, or anything. Now I'm going to finish vacuuming the rest of this, pick it up, and we're gonna put the seat in. Ain't that right? Ain't that right? Yeah, all right, cool. Okay, so where I left off, I run out of storage space. I don't have enough storage. But anyways, where I left off, I was putting everything back together. Got the driver's seat put back in, everything. Got the wires run. I just don't have it hooked up yet. I'm still making sure that I do this correctly the first time. Now, we did have a little issue with AFRs. Run a little rich. Fix that issue. What it was is wires coming from the wideband into the car from under the floorboard. It was in the car under the passenger floorboard where the previous owner had run those wires. The three wires were kind of bare in some spots and touching each other and grounding out. And so a friend of mine, Mark, helped me with that. He just randomly started looking, and glad he did. He just found it. Which y'all have seen him on the channel before in the past anyways. Real knowledgeable people. Him, Daniel, another good friend of mine, always like a brother, Buster. I mean, I'm so grateful that I have all these people that I can go to and ask questions. And, you know, even more than just them. But yeah, I'm super grateful for all of my friends that help me in any way, shape, or form that they can and they do without asking anything in return. And I just, one day I want to be able to return the favor in some way to them. But like I said, everything is ran. I don't have it hooked up. I have the gauge right here. It actually looks really good. I know I had wished I could turn it just ever so slightly, but it's not bad at all. The gauge pod is actually really nice. All this, you know, 3D printed up here. Maybe one day I'll sand it down and paint it, but it's a little loose. I'll probably go through and add a little 3M tape to that maybe one day or something. I have all these wires rolled up under here, just kind of tucked away for now. I know it looks really bad. It looks really bad. Don't judge me for that, but they're just rolled up. And I'm going to do a little more wire management with that whenever we go to plug it in. But before I just go start plugging in and playing and doing all this and that, I need to go through the instructions again, read them again, and then I need to do a little test on all of the connectings. That way I can find the 12-volt battery switch, not the constant one, because Daniel was telling me, he said, don't confuse the two, because if it's on constant, it'll always be on. I don't always want it to be on. I want it to come on when the car turns on, obviously. But he said, just watch out for that. If I have any questions, obviously I can talk to him and we can bring it over there, whatever. I don't know. I really want to do this. I'm not very electrically inclined, but I want to do it. And I'll probably get Daniel to double check it over and make sure everything's fine. So for now, let me go read the instructions and I'll do my best to describe to someone who's not electrically inclined like me how to do this.